Good morning, everybody. I got an email from YouTube last week informing me that I had been accepted into the partnership program. And you know what that means? You're never gonna see my fucking face again. That's right, I'm cashing in and dropping out. Sayonara, fuckers. So, I just talked to Stuffy, and apparently, in order to benefit from being a partner, I still have to make videos. So, the following comments are taken from editions of Mail Call, printed in the Herald-Mail from April 2nd to April 13th, 2012, which can be viewed online in their entirety at www.herald-mail.com. First up from Hagerstown. I am very happy that Mr. Wilcox is looking to save money. If the county really wants to save some money, they should look into the amount of untouched food thrown into the trash can in school cafeterias across the county. Someone needs to seriously evaluate the daily waste. I'm sure a few new teachers could be hired and raises given across the board with the savings. In case you haven't visited a school at lunchtime, you will see whole untouched lunches, apples, entrees, salads, etc., all put in the trash, and most of these lunches are subsidized by the taxpayers. Do you want to save the money, or do you want to use the money to hire more teachers? Because if you use the savings to hire more teachers, you're not saving it, you're spending it. Also, how do you suggest we achieve these savings in the first place? Do we take a survey of the kids on subsidized lunches and disqualify the ones who waste food? I mean, I know that it's important to trim waste from the budget, but is taking food away from poor kids really where we want to start? I just seen on TV, and I think it's sort of funny, where Hanoi Jane Fonda, is gonna play Nancy Reagan in an upcoming movie. Well, I'm a Vietnam veteran. How about if we make another Vietnam movie? Can I play Ho Chi Minh? Williamsport. I don't like Jane Fonda either, but I think I'm in the minority among the Jane haters. Most of the rest of them seem to be still hung up on all the Vietnam stuff, whereas I just think she's a shitty actress. I'm a Korean veteran from 1950, and I've been reading in the paper everybody complaining about the ball stadium. The heck with the ball stadium. Let's consider the veteran who's being tried for killing these civilians, and they want to make an example out of him just to impress the foreign country. Nobody should have to do that many tours of duty over there. Hagerstown. The veteran who committed the Kandahar massacre, his name is Robert Bales, by the way, is being considered. I believe they're considering him for the death penalty. And that's not to make an example of him to impress some foreign country. It's because what he did was, like, extremely against the law. Look, I agree with you that veterans in general, and especially of these recent wars, are overworked and underappreciated, but that doesn't mean they get to murder people. Thankfully, most of them don't need me to remind them of that. This call is concerning the caller from Hagerstown concerning contraception. She is correct. The government does not have to pay for their birth control. But the problem is that all the insurance companies, when they pick it up, will have to split the cost over all their users of the plan. So other people do pay for your birth control. And I don't know of any plans that cover Viagra. Hagerstown. Unfortunately for your argument, not knowing about something doesn't mean that something doesn't exist. Treatment for erectile dysfunction, including Viagra, actually is covered by quite a few health insurance plans. So, the next time you get paid, take a look at your pay stub and notice that little amount that indicates how much your employer is deducting to cover your health insurance benefits. And remember that a tiny, tiny amount of that money is going to pay for someone you've never met to have a rock-hard fucking dick. And also remember that a tiny amount from the paychecks of every other person in your insurance pool is going to help pay for any future treatments you might need. And stop complaining about having to pay for someone else's birth control, you horrible, horrible son of a bitch. To the person who wanted people to sign the petition against gay marriages so they can go on to the ballot in the November election, and he ended with, "God bless all." Believe it or not, God does bless all, even the ones that he's judging. Hagerstown. That's right. He blesses them by engulfing them in flames. Forever. Those fighting the Affordable Care Act seem to have more support for insurance companies than for Americans with pre-existing conditions. If Obamacare is overturned, then in 9 years as a diabetic, I will have no health care. Remind me, why are we attempting to punish people for having chronic illnesses? Boonesboro. Don't think of it as punishment. Think of it as going home to Jesus. I'm watching politics this morning on TV and reading the paper. It started out, the stimulus money was supposed for housing, was going to fix all the housing problems in this country. Instead, President Obama used the money for everything but that. He gave it to the automobile industry, billions, gave it to anybody who wanted it. Hagerstown. You are confusing the stimulus with the auto bailout. A brief editor's note printed alongside your comment could have easily corrected this, but why would the Herald-Mail want to correct the misconceptions of the people who read it? I mean, what are they? A motherfucking newspaper? Our president was on TV again yesterday. He had the same solutions for our problems. Tax the wealthy and inflate your tires. Well, that's not really doing it, President Obama. What you have to do is put the 49% of the people who don't pay any taxes back to work, or make them start paying taxes, so we, the people who do pay taxes, don't have to carry the burden. Williamsport. Why are they always taxing the income of the people who have the money? Why don't they ever tax the people who don't have money? The people who control most of the wealth pay almost all the taxes, and the people who are poor don't pay anything. And it's not fair. It's not fair. It's not fair. I'm not rich, but someday I will be. And when I get rich, I want to keep all my money. I want to keep all my money. I want all the money. I want all my money. I want all my money. I want all my money. Today is Thursday, April 5th. Why is the yellow school light flashing on Northern Avenue when there is no school? Hagerstown. Why is this in the newspaper? I have a question for all my fellow Christian mail callers. How can a Christian vote Democrat when you know the party stands for abortion rights? Can someone explain this to me? Washington County. Jesus doesn't really have much to say about abortion. Here's a better one for you. How can a Christian vote Republican when you know that party supports cutting social programs that benefit the poor, and Jesus commands his followers to help the poor? Can someone explain that one to me? And finally, from right here in Sharpsburg, President Obama several years ago signed into law the extension of the Bush tax cuts. So I don't know how Mitt Romney can say that Obama is a president who increased taxes by the highest of any president ever in American history. It was just a complete lie. And if people are dumb enough to believe Mitt Romney, that man could end up in the White House. Obama did not raise the taxes. You know, Romney just assumes that everyone else is as mindlessly gullible as he is. And it's not entirely his fault. He was raised Mormon, for fuck's sake. I mean, gullibility is the coal that fires that there train. Thanks for watching.